She's 75 with skin that raises questions. The answer isn't a product, a routine, or a secret ingredient list. It's a Mediterranean practice that works through a combination most people never consider. Regulators restricted it years ago, but the reasoning has nothing to do with danger or effectiveness. And the foundation of it is the oil she applies in a very specific form. Early harvest extra virgin olive oil isn't the stuff you grab off a grocery store shelf. This is what she uses: oil pressed from olives picked before they're fully ripe, and it contains anywhere from 500 to 750 milligrams of polyphenols per kilogram. Most standard olive oils barely reach 200. Polyphenols are plant compounds that fight oxidative damage, which is basically the cellular version of rust forming on metal. The main players here are hydroxytyrosol, oleuropein, and tyrosol. These molecules intercept free radicals before they can tear through skin cells. Then there's squalene. Your skin already produces this oily substance naturally, and it makes up about 10 to 12% of your sebum. The olive oil she applies contains squalene in concentrations that mimic what your own skin would produce at peak efficiency. This molecular compatibility means the oil integrates with your skin's moisture barrier. Instead of sitting on top like a greasy film, vitamin E shows up at 14 to 20 milligrams per 100 grams. That's tocopherol, which protects cell membranes from degrading when exposed to environmental stress. Unfiltered oil contains tiny fragments of olive skin. These microscopic pieces increase antioxidant density because they still carry phenolic compounds from the fruit itself. Filtered oils look cleaner and last longer, but they sacrifice this extra concentration. Cold-pressed extraction keeps the molecular structure intact. Heat processing speeds up production but destroys the compounds that make the oil valuable. The result is higher antioxidant activity compared to anything refined or chemically processed. The chemical profile isn't standard across all bottles. Altitude affects how the olive tree synthesizes these compounds. Soil minerals change trace element concentration. Different olive varieties produce different polyphenol ratios. Harvest timing shifts the balance, since olives picked earlier have more polyphenols while those left longer develop more oil content, but fewer bioactive molecules. But none of this matters if the oil oxidizes before it touches skin. Olives start losing their chemical potency the second they're picked. That's why she only uses oil from processors who crush them within 6 to 8 hours of harvest. Wait any longer, and enzymatic reactions begin breaking down the polyphenols. Cold extraction means the temperature stays below 27 degrees Celsius during pressing. Heat destroys squalene and polyphenols through thermal degradation. Storage matters just as much. Light triggers photodegradation, which is why she keeps the oil in dark amber glass bottles. Even indirect sunlight starts breaking down antioxidant compounds within days. Temperature control continues after bottling. She stores it below 18 degrees Celsius, and oxidation slows considerably. Store it anywhere warmer, and the oil goes rancid faster than you can use it. Rancid oil promotes inflammation rather than reducing it. She replaces the oil every 60 days because active compounds decline rapidly after that point. The molecular structure degrades whether you can taste the difference or not. Filtering gets skipped entirely. Commercial operations filter oils to extend shelf life, but that removes plant residues with additional phenolic compounds. The traditional method she follows leaves everything in. Even cleaning matters. The harvest tools and storage containers get washed with hot water. Only detergents leave residues that interfere with the oil's natural composition. Every step protects fragile molecules. Break any of them, and you're left with cooking oil that does nothing for skin. Which brings us to how she actually applies it. She uses 1 teaspoon each time. More than that overwhelms the skin's absorption capacity and clogs pores. Less doesn't distribute evenly. The oil gets warmed between her palms first. Cold oil doesn't spread smoothly and forces you to pull at the skin. Warming it to body temperature prevents unnecessary mechanical stress. She uses upward strokes on the jaw, cheeks, and neck to minimize drag on skin already fighting gravitational pull. Downward strokes stretch the skin in the same direction it naturally sags. The eye area gets light pressing motions only. The skin there is 0.5 millimeter thick compared to 2 millimeters on cheeks. Aggressive application causes micro tears that accumulate over years. 12 minutes is her waiting period. That's how long it takes for absorption without saturation. Leave it longer and it oxidizes on your face. Remove it too soon, and the bioactive compounds don't penetrate the stratum corneum. She removes residue using warm water with dissolved salt, applied with a cotton cloth. The salt breaks down excess oil without stripping what's already absorbed. Chemical cleansers would remove beneficial compounds that have started integrating with the skin barrier. 3 times weekly, never daily. Daily application disrupts natural sebum production. Your skin adapts by reducing its own oil output, creating dependency. But her application technique is only part of what makes this work. The environment plays a role most people completely overlook. Where she lives, coastal humidity sits between 50 and 65%. That level reduces transepidermal water loss. When oil is applied in humid environments, moisture stays trapped beneath it instead of escaping into dry air. Sea air carries sodium particles that increase surface hydration by attracting water molecules to the skin. Skin holds moisture more effectively when sodium ions are present. Air pollution levels matter more than most acknowledge. PM 2.5 concentrations, typically measured 10 to 12 micrograms per cubic meter in her coastal area. Urban centers regularly exceed 50. Lower pollution means the antioxidants in the oil can focus on internal aging instead of fighting environmental toxins. Mediterranean sunlight provides enough exposure for vitamin D synthesis without sharp UV peaks that cause immediate photo damage. Wind patterns prevent the oil from heating up on the skin's surface, which would trigger faster oxidation. The moving air maintains an ideal temperature range for absorption. Olive groves surrounding her home emit volatile organic compounds, with mild anti-inflammatory effects when absorbed through skin contact. Living surrounded by olive trees means constant low-level exposure. Even temperature throughout the day prevents the oil from thickening or oxidizing rapidly. Temperature swings destabilize the molecular structure faster than steady conditions. All of this environmental support makes her topical treatment more effective. But the internal factors might be even more important. Tomatoes and peppers show up constantly in her meals. Both contain lycopene and beta-carotene, which support collagen stability. These compounds help protect collagen from enzymatic breakdown. She eats sardines and anchovies multiple times weekly. These fish provide omega-3 fatty acids that integrate into skin cell membranes and improve barrier function. A stronger barrier means less moisture loss. Her diet contains 60 to 70% less added sugar than Western diets. High sugar intake causes glycation, where glucose molecules bind to collagen fibers and make them brittle. Glycated collagen can't maintain elasticity. She walks regularly, which improves microcirculation. Better blood flow means more efficient nutrient delivery to skin cells and faster waste removal. Herbal teas like sage and chamomile contain natural anti-inflammatory compounds. Chronic inflammation accelerates aging in every organ system, including skin. These compounds reduce the baseline enough to slow degenerative processes. Her stress levels remain lower, which reduces cortisol. Elevated cortisol breaks down collagen faster than the body can rebuild it. Measurable cortisol levels in these populations tend to be lower, affecting skin aging rates directly. She maintains consistent sleep cycles that support nighttime cell renewal. Skin performs most repair work during deep sleep phases. Irregular sleep disrupts these cycles and reduces cellular maintenance efficiency. None of these factors work in isolation. The oil application benefits from the diet, the environment supports both, and lifestyle factors create optimal conditions. But there's a reason you can't just buy this approach in a store. Cosmetic regulations require microbial testing before products reach the market. The raw olive oil she uses doesn't pass these tests. It contains naturally occurring bacteria and yeast from the olive fruit and processing equipment. Those microorganisms are unpredictable. Batch consistency is another barrier. Cosmetic formulations must deliver identical results regardless of when or where they're manufactured. Raw olive oil varies based on harvest timing, weather conditions, and soil composition. One batch might contain 700 milligrams of polyphenols per kilogram, while another has 450. Raw olive oil is categorized as food grade, not cosmetic grade. Food grade standards focus on safety when consumed, not when applied to skin. Cosmetic grade standards require stability testing, preservative efficacy testing, and irritation testing that food products don't undergo. Regulators require cosmetic products to remain stable for at least 2 to 3 years under various storage conditions. Raw olive oil starts degrading within months. Cosmetic challenge tests assess whether a product can resist contamination during normal use. Raw oils can't guarantee this resistance without preservatives, and adding preservatives would require processing that makes the oil no longer raw. Packaging guidelines prohibit selling unstable oils without specific containers. Dark amber bottles with airtight seals are requirements for anything with sensitive bioactive compounds. But even perfect packaging only slows degradation. Agriculture-based harvesting increases contamination risks. Olives grow outdoors, get handled by workers and equipment, and move through facilities that process tons of fruit daily. Industrial cosmetics manufacturing uses controlled environments to eliminate these variables. Dermatology boards align with manufacturing and regulatory standards, not chemical profiles. They recommend against what she does not because the molecules are dangerous, but because the product doesn't fit the safety framework they're required to work within. The restrictions are procedural and legal, not scientific. Still, those regulations overlook the factors that make the method work. Her skin at 75 comes from molecular compatibility, environmental support, dietary factors, and application precision. The method works through chemistry, not marketing. Regulations block it from shelves because systems weren't built for unprocessed approaches.